Everybody, welcome back to the Captain Guy Show. I'm out here getting my 10,000 steps in because remember, health is wealth. I have to apologize. I've been off of YouTube for about 45 days and I've got a good excuse. Uh, I normally focus on finance and things specifically in that category, but I decided to branch out a little bit and I just finished a 30-day cruise. That's what this video is going to be about, but not just the cruise. It's the way that I approached it. I spent 30 days in Europe, 20 in Italy, and 10 on a ship. And I did it all in a backpack that went on my back that weighed around 35, 40-ish pounds, 22, 20 kilos, something like that. And I also had a smaller backpack that I could download stuff into if I needed to. Anyhow, I'm going to deconstruct how I managed to live out of a backpack for 30 days. Now, keep a thing in mind. I don't think this would work for females. Just saying. I'm bald, no hair products, minimal medication. But again, I'm going to get out here and finish my 10,000 steps before I jump in and do this video. It became really clear to me after watching other folks that health is wealth. If you really want to enjoy that vacation, you need to be ambulatory and you need to just be in the best shape possible. And that's why first thing I do every day, I get up, I do my 10,000 steps, and then I get busy living. I'll see you shortly. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Captain Guy Show. And what am I doing? First of all, sorry I haven't been online for 30 days because, well, I've been on a trip throughout Europe. And this episode is specifically going to talk about the items I took, the way I tried to prepare for 30 days on a cruise ship and also in Italy and Spain. So anyhow, this is the backpack that I carried around. It's about 35 pounds, 46 liters. Secondary was a front backpack. This usually is what I use to carry on the airplane. And I carry it secured like this if I was in a, shall we say, high threat area. And then this would be more like the fanny pack that goes over the shoulder. So we're just going to kind of go through in detail what that trip looked like for me. So let's talk about what I'm wearing on the outside. This is called a Scotty vest. And the reason that I got it is because, well, it's got a million reasons that I like it. It's got a million pockets. And it's extremely secure and it's just about as pickpocket proof as you could get. And the thing that I really like about this vest, Scotty vest, is that it's got a million pockets. And the thing that I don't really like about the Scotty vest is it's got like a million pockets. And at times I was looking for critical documents. I find myself trying to get out of it and going through this thing, and it was like a maze. But this pretty much stayed on my body most of the time, and I will tell you 75% of the time it was too hot wearing that. All right, so let's talk about what I have right here in front of me now. What I tried to do was realizing that I wanted to have a backpack and I didn't want any roller boards or any roller wheels or anything like that. I wanted to be able to get in and get out and not to have to check luggage. And I did not have to check this luggage a single time. This is 46 liters. It's made by a company called Osprey. But I will tell you, I'm 67 years old and I was beginning to feel it. I've got 2 knee replacements, very successful. They did a great job. And that's what allowed me to be ambulatory. But I could tell you that after a while, that probably is not for everyone. Or at least get a pair of external wheels that you can put it on. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Let's just get going with this. This is what I wore back last night on the airplane. It's 15 hours getting from Rome to New York and Dallas. New York was unplanned. Bad weather in Dallas. Anyhow, these are just black Levi's. They're very versatile, and I'm 100% going to put these into I'll take it again pile. I had 3 of these Tommy Bahama shirts that I wore. 2 of them would have been fine. The third one was too much, so I'm going to put that one in that pile. This is the baseball cap that I always wore that I bought in Capri because I love the Capri spritzers that they have. They're phenomenal. And then also I wanted to grab the thickest belt that I had. And the shoes. These are the absolute deal breakers. Bring crappy shoes with you and you're going to regret it. I brought 3 pair of shoes. I came back with 2 pair. And the reason is I was thinking for formal night, I was going to need a coat and tie and a pair of fancy black shoes, which I brought. And I will tell you, the black shoes are no longer with me. I'm going to show you a picture, but I left them in Florence because they just took up too much room. And I'll tell you about that why later. Anyhow, good walking shoes, the most important thing of all of this, incredibly important. Okay, the stuff that I keep near to me is things that are uh, I'm going to need access to immediately because sometimes once you get in the airplane, you know, you need your earpods, you need earbuds. You need your power converters. Always have a flashlight attached, and there's actually even a subset of this shoulder strap. Shoulder strap goes like this, by the way, and it's very tough to pickpocket something that's in front of you, by the way. Not impossible. These guys are very clever. And then I brought 2 pair of different micro fanny packs. This black one, Go Zone, probably is the most stretchy, is the best. I'll put that in the pile I'll keep it. I brought a backup one. Actually, I ended up letting a friend of mine use. I'm gonna create a pile right about there of stuff that I didn't need. Okay. Put this out of the way, make sure you can see. So what else did I have in here? Survey says passport. This is the pocket closest to me. Driver's license, things that I gotta have and I can't lose. And if it's up against your body, the closer your body, general rule, the more difficult it is for people to get it. If you got some in your back pocket, you're just asking for it. You're going to see I bought 2 different pair of eye shades because it seems like I always get that one baby that's 8 months old that's teething, and its job in life for the next 12 hours is to sit and scream behind me, which I get it. We had our kids, I feel it, but I want to be prepared for it. So I have noise canceling headsets and I got my blinders on. I would say one of those I would keep, the other one I wouldn't keep. I didn't need that one. Definitely need passport, all important documents. The most the dilemma you're going to run into very rapidly is the fact that universal charging is, well, it's not a thing. And when you're anything touching American metal, airplanes, whatever, you can usually get away with this type charger. This is your brick for iPhone, and your USB and USB-C come in real handy. So let's see, USB-C to USB-C or USB to USB-C. But this one here, this triple, it's the USB and it's got the USB-C, it's got the FireWire, and it's more the products that Google uses. So anyhow, you can go overboard very quickly, but these 3, I use them all the time. This backup power, I got a 20-watt fast charging backup power. I don't know who it's made by, but pulled it off Amazon. That came in extremely handy 3 or 4 times. So there's the sub pack there. That stuff. I also, any medication I have that's very important to me. I have a little bit of high blood pressure. I want to keep those with me. Sweeteners, crazy about my sweeteners. I want that near me. Now, the sub pack, this you can bring typically on the airplane very easily. I had no real problem with this. And this comes in handy if this is kind of like just an auxiliary to hold stuff. Extra pair of sunglasses, that's going in the, I never wore them because I have transition lenses. These paper towel, these wet wipes, these are an absolute must. You'll find some of the toilets over there quite challenging. I'll be generous when I say that. Little packs, stuff like that I didn't need. This is, my wife had bought a couple of little coffee cups, and they went great in here. So they say on this side. This is what I kept all my wires in. I could tell you, uh, most of this was an absolute waste. So I'm going to put that pack in there. And everything you see me downloading is a blessing. It really is. All right, this is one that you really need. Let me bring up closer to it. This is the European plug-in type, and it converts to American USB, USB-C, so you can kind of get an idea. This one we use 90% of the time, so that's an absolute, got to keep that. I think I just brought too many darn chargers. Never, maybe this is a 100-watt fast charger. You know, I was just looking for flexibility as best I could, but you can see the three. It shows the wattage setting on them. I don't know if you folks saw that, but yeah, I'm gonna say we brought that charger. I used that one a couple times. Meta, turn them on right now. So these are Meta Ray-Ban 2. I'm going to do a whole story on these. All in all, I think I paid lens and frame close to 800 bucks. I'm not so sure it's really worth it. It records only in vertical format. I get 3 minutes out of it. It does do some things good, but really what it went on for was the language translation. And if there's more than one person talking, it just doesn't work well. So, you know, if you got 800 bucks burning a hole in your pocket, you don't, then buy them. They're great for taking vertical photographs. I took them all the time. A lot of the photographs you're going to see did come from them. Spare watch, never wore it. Earplugs, never used them. More charging wires, didn't need them. Medication, this stays with me always. Teeth, our toothbrush, things of that nature. American Airlines donated that to us last night for riding where we did in the airplane. What else? One thing I do is I carry a little petty cash pocket. I carry that in my front pocket. It's stuff that I don't mind losing. It's got euros in there, coins. They don't have €1 bills. They stop at 5 and they start giving you metal. This is 100% fake wallet. I learned this in New York, and I'd put it back here in my back pocket. Kind of take the focus off where the big bucks really were, and that was hidden on me. Business cards. And what else do we have in here? Oh yeah, this European necklace. I know for we Texans in particular, it looks a little weird, but I got to tell you, the temperature varied from around 45 to 90 degrees depending on where we were. And this thing came in handy on more times than you can imagine. Of course, I don't know how to do the European necktie on there. My wife's European, so I let her do it. And then if you don't want to wear it, you got your fanny pack on here. You can just put this right over it. Nobody even knows you've got a fanny pack on. So, and I use this as a pillow several times. So this came in really handy. I didn't think I was going to like it, but it did. Okay. What else? What else? What else? The blue tape is, I want to make it pretty obvious that it's my stuff. And we never ran into any problems with pickpockets, but anyhow, and the backpack's good for things that are soft and crush easily. These are cigars that I buy in Switzerland, and I kept them in a backpack, and they're in perfect shape. Anyhow, I don't really have a recommendation on a backpack, but you want just a mid-sized backpack. Okay, let's get into the money shot here. So I'm going to put that over here stuff. All right. So this bad boy, once again, is the Osprey Sojourn Porter 46 liters. And and it does a lot of things that I like. First of all, it's got this cinching system, which makes it tough for people to quickly unzip your backpack and gain access to it. And this thing did get run through the full system with Vueling airline out of Spain, and made it back in one piece. Anyhow, let's open it up like this. This is the primary zipper here. And I'm going to show you exactly the secret. If I didn't already say, it weighed about 75 pounds. It weighs about 35 pounds. And almost every airline let me do it. Okay, so here's the secret. I use these suction packs. Okay, and you can put a lot of stuff in these things. And so, and then what I do is I also squeeze on it to make sure all the air is out of it. So we're going to go into these here in a minute. This ate up probably one of the biggest room killers that I had on the airplanes. My iPad, I need it for work. I really had no choice, but it's heavy. I think an iPad instead of the laptop would have been better. So I'm going to put this over here and didn't really need that category. Okay. We're going to go through exactly what clothes I chose. And so there's actually 3 of these packages that I put in here. Okay, some of the stuff I didn't or did need. First of all, my canvas belt from the military days, that's really flexible. This black belt, not so much. Never, I didn't really need it. And I'll go into why I didn't need it. This is a vanity can that I carry from past cruises, ate up a ton of room. I won't be doing that again for sure. Okay, so that's going to go right there in that category. This is the device that you use, sucks the air out of these things. So anyhow, they're valuable. Video stand. I had all these bright ideas about shooting video with the stand. I used it none, not a single time. Cigar carrier for 3 cigars, never used it. Just more gear for recording, didn't use. Okay, and when you're down to it, this is what you're left with. And you do have an extra pocket up here at the top. You can drop stuff in that you may need quick access to. But these devices for cinching is absolutely vital. Oh, one other thing that I do is I keep geotags in my middle bag and this bag as well. So I'm going to pull that out now. Really recommend the geotags quite a bit. All right. I'm going to get this out of the way. Oh, by the way, you can detach these because if you think you're going to have to stow it in the belly of the airplane, you definitely want to stuff them back down into these slots. You don't want to give that machine any chance at all of damaging. Okay, so now we're just kind of going to go through what did work and what didn't work. These suction packs, you can get them on Amazon. I don't think it really matters who you get them through. But basics, how about socks? Well, I had 4 pair of white socks, and that did me fine. I had 1 pair of dress-up brown socks, never wore them once. Black, these are the compression socks I used to wear as a pilot, so they go all the way up to the ankle. Very comfortable. These were my dress socks, kept those. Underwear, well, guys, for me, 5 worked, and the reason it worked, I didn't have to double tap my underwear, but the reason it worked is because every place I went had washing machines, and I knew that in advance. So keep all that. Where are we? The shoes that I did keep, these are, they're kind of like topsiders. This is made by Gecko Man. I never heard of it, Gecko Man. But these ended up, strangely enough, being my formal shoes when we go out to dinner on the boat. And we'll go over that in a second. So that pair of shoes did real well. Now the black pair of shoes that I'm going to show you right here in this photograph, I never used them, and they ate up a ton of room, and I left them in Florence, Italy. Okay, here we go. So from the research I did, it looked like coat and tie night was a big thing. So I took my coat with me, and I wore it, and I sweat to death getting to Italy with it. And lo and behold, didn't need it. And I had a pair of matching slacks that went with it, but if you remember, the black pants would work perfectly for formal night. So here's another pair of pants, and these are Eddie Bauer. They're super stretchy, pockets all over them. I like them, I just didn't need them. And these are my go-to long pants, another Eddie Bauer pant that's very light, very comfortable, and they're easy to wash, and they don't stain so easily. 100% keeping those. Scotty vest. Sorry, I know it's had a lot of positive press, but it jacked up my frustration level on more than one occasion. Okay, the next, believe it or not, other than those walking shoes, these pants here by Nike is what I wore probably 60% of the time, maybe 70. They're made by Nike. They're high quality. They got a liner on the inside. They got pockets all over the place, 100%. And then a little bit nicer canvas pants, shorts that I have. Maybe I wore those about 5–10% of the time. Definitely take them though. All right, so what are we looking at now? Now we're looking at t-shirts. You absolutely need 3 t-shirts, and you're going to use those more than anything else. So I had 3 t-shirts that I wore constantly because sometimes you just want to layer up. I had a lot of positive comments from Europeans about my Boston t-shirt, by the way. And then when you layer up, this is probably the thickest garment that I had. It's more like a rugby type shirt. It's just thick. Wind doesn't penetrate it. So if you've got a t-shirt on, then you have this on. That works smashingly. Uh, and then this is kind of like the, so that's an absolute, it looks like a safari vest, but it's extremely light. It's semi waterproof. And it just bag. You put this on with those other 2 layers. Cannot overemphasize how handy these bags are. All right, so I was trying to decide, if I needed 2 really heavy shirts to take, and in fact, it came down to it. The answer was a glaring no. So I could have easily done without this backup heavy-duty shirt. Okay, I think of the Tommy Bahama shirts, I brought 3 of them. I already showed you the black one. This is the other one. Honestly, this 3rd one, never wore it. So didn't need that one. Okay, and this is my wife and I both have these fun shirts that we like to wear. And I wore this probably on 3 or 4 occasions. It's typical the talk of the town. It's Robert Graham. Supposedly it's handmade. I don't know. A friend of mine gave it to me. Thank you, Farouk. And then the last one, so strangely enough, this became my formal shirt with the black pants and the gray belt that you saw in there. And I would wear these loafers with it. And we were on a luxury, ultra luxury cruise line. It was called the Regent Seven Seas, if I haven't already said. And they never gave us a hard time at all. I didn't actually see that many guys in there with coats and ties. So that pretty much nails it. I think it's worth reviewing again all the stuff I didn't need. There's 2 shirts right there. Scotty vest, didn't need. Pair of pants, coat, laptop, and all these other goodies that you can see right here. Had I not taken that, this would have been 1,000 times more fun. And in that case, that 46-liter bag would have absolutely been perfect. If anybody would like me to talk about how I enjoyed cruising on the Regent Seven Seas and where we stayed at in Italy, basically we started in Malaga, went up to Gibraltar, and then worked all the way down northern Africa, Cadiz, Tangier, and then back to Barcelona, flew to Venice, spent the night in Venice for 4 days, then drove up to Switzerland, where my wife is from, came back down to Florence, and near a town near Verona called Borghetto. Unbelievable. I can talk about any of these things, what Florence was like, what we didn't like about it. Same thing with Rome. And then the Amalfi Coast, where we spent about the last 7 days, just straight up knocked it out of the park. So if anybody wants to talk about ways that they compact their travel that even improves on this, I would love to hear it. I did fly in the airlines for 35 years, so hopefully I did learn something about living out of a suitcase. Just had a lot of fun, enjoyed it. I'm not trying to be offensive when I tell you this, but I'm 67 years old. I took that backpack, actually 2 backpacks, on my own, unassisted. And if you've ever been to Cinque Terre, or if you've ever been to any of the towns along the Amalfi Coast, you know that you can take 300 to 400 steps, and they're difficult steps, up to where your apartment is. So I've seen it with my own eyes. If you're not in good condition, those type trips are not going to be fun for you, and you probably want to focus more on the cruise ships. Those are really tailored quite well to help out people that may not be quite as mobile. So Anyhow, enjoyed it. Health is wealth. Thanks for listening to me, and see you back on the tube.